What's up guys, this is Chris from VFX On, and in this tutorial, this is what we're going to be creating. Okay, so first things, we need to make a new composition, so let's name this main settings, whatever you pretty much like, not 10 minutes long. Let's go with 10 seconds long, 29.97 frames per second. I use the preset and click OK. And now we want to type our text, so I'm going to obviously type VFX on. And for the colors, let's see, I'm going to put this as this color, like that. And then title action safe, and let's just drag it into the middle. And maybe also increase the size to something like that. But you know, just adjust the size and the colors however you like. Okay. Okay, and now we need a background. So new solid, and let's name it BG. Okay, and we will use a gradient ramp at that. And you know, you can use your own colors, but I'm just gonna do something different. So in the original I used completely black background, but for this one I want a bit different color that I think might look a bit better. And so start color did this, a bit of blue, and end color did this. And ramp scatter to 95. And blend with original to 1. So that gives a bit of a bluish background. I think that this red and white really pops off of that. But you know, again, use your own colors. Alright, next we need to pre-compose this. So pre-compose logo / text. Okay. And we need to pre-compose this once again, and let's call this particle dissolve. Okay, and we're gonna mainly work with this layer right here for now. So now let's create a new solid, and let's name this particles. And we will need okay, and we will need a trapcode particular plugin. So here I have, drop that right there. And we also need to make logo / text layer as a 3D layer. So now go back to here, emitter type from point to layer, and so that way we can now select that these particles will emit from our layer that we're gonna select here. So layer emitter, and we're gonna select logo / text. So now all the particles will be emitted from this layer right here. So for this effect to work, we need to make everything in reverse. So for this to work, what we need to do is we need to make this whole animation backwards or reverse. And then later on, we will simply reverse it back so it looks like particles are actually making text. But you'll see that later on. So right now, what we're gonna do is change direction from uniform to directional. We're gonna change velocity random to 100, velocity distribution to 0.7, and velocity from motion to 66, and emitter size Z to 0. And just to be able to see everything a bit better, I'm gonna add a simple black solid here like that. And now what I'm gonna do is we will need a keyframe, first keyframe. So we will set particles per second to 12,400 and set a keyframe. Now let's open up particles tab. Okay, now let's open physics tab. And we're gonna change physics time factor to 0.5. Now let's open up air tab. Okay, and now open up turbulence field and change evolution speed from 50 to 15. So now let's go to aux system, open that up, and emit to continuously. And here we're going to change particles per second. Let's just move on a bit to here. Particles per second from 10 to 197. Let's just move even more further, like here. And life from 0.5 to 1.5. And velocity, let's set that to 2. And size also to 2. Opacity to 18. And color from main to 100. So one thing to note here playing with Aux system is that increasing particles per second is going to also increase your render time. So if you're a not that fast system, then I would suggest trying to find that balance between particles per second in Aux system and particles per second in emitter setting. Okay, and now let's open a physics tab here in Aux system, and we will need to set our keyframe. So let's go to like 2 seconds somewhere here, and let's set turbulence position keyframe at 0. And now let's move 2 seconds forward to here, and let's set that same keyframe to 150. Now you can see it's going all crazy, and you can increase that, you know, just like whatever you want, as you can see. So yeah, but you know, I kind of like as it was. And also what we're gonna change here is, let's see, keyframes, okay, is we're gonna change particles per second from 12,400 to 5,570. Okay, now let's scroll up a bit to air and physics, and we will need to set a keyframe at almost 5 second mark. And we're gonna set WinZ keyframe, set it at 0, and affect position keyframe. Now let's move again forward to here, and now let's move up here, and we will need another keyframe for particles per second at this point, and we will also need a keyframe for direction spread, and also for X, Y, and Z rotation, and velocity, and we will set that to 0. And we will also set a life, keyframe for life, and set that to 4.6, and as well for size. And we also need a keyframe for opacity, and let's move down to gravity, and for air we will set a keyframe for spin amplitude. Now let's press U on our keyboard to see all the keyframes. As you can see, we're using quite a lot of keyframes, so let's move to here in the timeline, and we will set opacity to 26, which basically what it does, it did remove the original particles, and we're only now left with particles generated by the Aux system. Now again a bit forward to about like here, and let's set particles per second to 1,630, and life to 7.8, and just a bit again forward to here, and size we're gonna set that to 2. And now again forward to about, I don't know, and let's set direction spread to 56, X rotation to 75, Y rotation to 95, and Z rotation to 45, and spin amplitude to 44. And here you can play with the wind. You might as well set a keyframe for wind here for X and Y. Let's go back to here, and let's see all of our keyframes. And you see we can just like wind X or wind Y or wind Z. So you see you can play around with these settings to give a bit of different look to everything, but in the original video I left them all at 0, so I'm just gonna set a keyframes there for 0, but you know, you can change them and set whatever settings you like. And affect position to 910, and we might as well also change turbulence here, but you know, again, it's up to you, so I'm just gonna leave it at 150. So that's how it looks so far. And let's play it back quickly. I think it looks really good, but we still need a few things here in this composition. So yeah, I really like how it looks. Alright, so now we can close this down, and we will need a new camera, and we're gonna do some simple camera animations, nothing crazy. So okay, so let's go to around, like, I don't know, here. Let's say here, and let's set a keyframe for all of these. Point of interest, position, and orientation. Now let's press U on our keyboard to see all of these keyframes. And now let's go to like here, 9:15, and I'm gonna set the position to exactly the same that I used in the preview. So here to -193, and this to -1017. And again, you know, these camera settings, you can just play around with them. You know, just see what you like and what you don't like, and just set your own animation. But for this one, I'm going to use the same exact settings as I used in the preview. Okay, and I noticed I did a little mistake, which is that our composition isn't long enough, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do quickly is select this composition settings, and let's set that to like 15 seconds. For all of our compositions. So composition settings, 15 seconds long and 15 seconds long. Okay, now that's fixed. Now we only need to select all of them and just extend their size, and uncheck this lock here and extend that as well. And let's move to like here, I don't know, somewhere here, and go into logo/text and also increase the size of that. Okay, that was a silly mistake. Now let's go, I don't know, like let's go here in timeline a bit forward, and let's change this to 128. So as you can see, it rotates. So what I'm trying to do here is I want the animation to go from the back of the logo to the front, so it sort of rotates around the side. Again, move forward to here, set this to 302, and this to 631. And I don't know, let's try something different that I didn't do in the original video. Okay, let's just take this Track Z camera and let's just zoom in like that. Okay, and then just go again forward, then orbit. Like that, and again zoom in. And this basically like just like crazy zoom, and let's just take these and drag them out. So that way it plays backwards. Okay, now we have done with this composition. We can turn off the background and go back to our main composition and extend both of these layers. Okay, and now we need a new solid, and let's call it lens, actually no, OF for optical flares, and we will need that effect, flare, drop that on transparent, options, presets, motion graphic, and monster flare, and click OK. And I'm gonna quickly position to the same position as it was in the preview, but you know, like I've said previously, you can change however you like. And source to 3D, that's important, and position Z to 1900, 2088, and 1080. So, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna click Ctrl X to cut this layer, and we're gonna simply paste it in here. So that way the light or the optical flare moves with the camera. Now what we need to do is we need to set a new solid, and let's make it black, and let's call it black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this layer, okay, and I'm going to find a place on this new duplicated layer that just like is really all of the particles, that the text is just unreadable at this point. Like, let's see, let's go with something like this. And what we do now is we press Ctrl Shift and D on our keyboard, and that will split the layers. And the bottom one, I'm just gonna delete it because I don't need it anymore. And I'm gonna go about 1, 2, and 3 frames forward. And again, Ctrl Shift D to split and delete the top one, like that. And what we'll do, let's just preview from here. So as you can see, it sort of is glitching a bit. You can see that it sort of looks like, you know, everything's going smooth, and then just suddenly something like this is happening, and then it goes back to normal. So, and just, you know, copy this, I don't know, with like 1, 2, 3 frame interval, something like that. So again, Control, duplicate the previous layer, move it there, expand it, you know, find other different position, something like that. Again, Control Shift D, delete the bottom layer, 1, 2, 3 maybe frames forward, 4 maybe, I don't know, 6 maybe frames forward, Control Shift D, again, delete. And let's see how that looks. So yeah, it looks like it's glitching. Definitely something is not okay here. So yeah, just, you know, copy these sort of layers, you know, duplicate, copy, move, adjust until you find, you know, your sort of how you like it to look. So I'll be back when I'm done with that. Okay, so I've created something like this. Okay, and it might not look very good for now, but we'll fix that. And we'll fix that by making a new shape. I know it sounds weird, but that's what we're gonna do using a rectangle tool. Make sure that the fill is set to whatever color, and we're gonna make a rectangle tool about this big, I would have to say. And then we will need an effect called transform, and we're gonna drag that on, and let's name this glitch. And this shape layer is gonna be part of the glitch effect. Okay, so let's go to the first glitchy composition here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set a scale to about like nothing like very crazy, something like this. But unfortunately, as you can see, it scales this shape layer, and that's not what we need. All right, we need to scale the layer beneath it, and to do that we need to set this checkbox right here, which makes this sort of like this shape layer sort of like an adjustment layer. So that's exactly what we need, and this is perfect. So now we only need to do is we need to place these shape layers, and again, Control Shift D, delete this one, and about like 1, 2 frames forward, and cut that and delete. And we'll see how that looks. Maybe move it like, I don't know, like this, maybe like that. Then it's gonna be clean, you know, and everything's gonna be cool. And later on, you know, you can just move them around. So again, duplicate that layer and place it wherever you want it to be. You know, you can move it to the other side like that. You know, just go do your own thing, and you can increase the size of this shape layer. So I'll be back when I'm done with this. Okay, so this is how I did position my glitch layers. As you can see, I did not leave any spaces between them. You can leave spaces if you want, you know, that's totally up to you, but I decided not to. And just instantly, as the previous as this glitch layer ends, the next one comes in a different position, and so on and so on, and each of them are in different size than the previous one. So yeah, feel free to adjust them. and this is how it looks for me so far, and I think it looks pretty cool. Like, it genuinely looks very, very nice. Okay, another thing that I want to add is I want, for example, as you can see, here is a gap. Okay, nothing is going on in these two frames. So what I want to do is I want to fill that with total blackness, like that. And once again, Control-Shift-D, the black layer, 1-2 frames forward. Again, Control-Shift-D, delete the layers above and below. And now we have just complete darkness of nothing going on. And maybe here a frame. So maybe here a frame long. So we'll do that. And yeah, just, you know, put in places the black where you think it should be. So duplicate that. And yeah, I'll be done. I'll be back when I'll be done with this. Okay, so this is how I place my black solids there. Don't go crazy, you know, you don't have to place them in every gap you have. You know, just place them where it looks okay. And this is how it looks for me. I think it looks good. So yeah. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to create a new adjustment layer, and we will need an effect called RGB Simple Separation. So drop that on, and let's name this layer Glitch. And what you pretty much want to do is, let's just go a few frames back, for example, to here. What you want to do is you want to set a keyframe for radius, like that, and let's just see the keyframes, then move 1 frame forward, and let's just, I don't know, adjust it to like 10. Then again 1 frame forward, maybe make it minus, I don't know, whatever, 12, you know, and so on. So here let's set that to 0, move forward, here set another keyframe at 0, move to here, and let's set that to, I don't know, 21. Again, move forward, set it to like, I don't know, 14, move forward, and so on and so on. Let's set it here to like 3. So, you know, you get the idea pretty much, and I'll be back when I'm done with this. Okay, so I'm done with setting the keyframes, and this is how it looks. I think it looks pretty good. Maybe in the preview version it did look a bit better, but you know, still it looks very, very good. Anyways, we can close this down. Okay, so this all looks good. What we now need to do is we need to go into particle dissolve layer. Here, let's turn on the background for now. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into project tab and open particle dissolve composition, and we're gonna drag the logo / text in here. Okay, and we will need an effect called block dissolve. We're gonna drag that on. Let's go to around like this point here. Let's turn on this background for a while so we see what's going on. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna set the transition completion at this point. So press U to see our keyframe. Then we're gonna go to like, I don't know, here, and we're gonna set, press T to set opacity, and we're gonna set that here at 100. Then go 1 frame forward, we're gonna set that to 0, and transition completion to 100. Okay, now press U to see all the keyframes. Let's go to like here, Control-Shift-D to split the layer, and to about like here, again Control-Shift-D to split the layer. And so what happens is that it sort of dissolves, but as you can see in these small pieces. But unfortunately what I don't like is that we can see these particles right here, and we need to get rid of them. And to do that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here to the start where we set the particle block dissolve keyframe, and for the particle layer here we're gonna press T for keyframe for opacity, set opacity keyframe, and set that to 0, and then move to, I don't know, like here, and set it to 100, or maybe further to like here. And let's see how that looks. Oh, actually, no, we have to stretch this layer here. Go back to main and see how it looks. It looks okay. Maybe the animation is a bit too fast, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna make it a bit slower than it is. Something like that. Let's see. Yeah, I think this looks a lot better. The animation is not so fast, it's more smooth. Let's stretch this out a bit more. Okay, decide where you want your animation to start. So I'm gonna say here and end here. Okay, that's my working space there. And now what you want to do is, well, it really depends. What I did, I put this composition in a new comp, composition settings, named it render, added a new adjustment layer, and just went on with like added curves, levels, and hue and saturation. So I'm gonna just quickly do that, do some color correction, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, and so this is how looks my color correction here. So this is after and this is before. I think it looks very good. So I use levels and hue and saturation. Yeah, so that's how it looks. I think it looks pretty good. It just pops those colors. So, and now what you want to do is you want to go into render queue window and put that render composition in here. Select your settings where you want to output it and hit render button. So I'll be back when I'm done with that. Okay, so I finished rendering my file, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna import that file into After Effects, or you can import in any other video editing software like Premiere or Sony Vegas or any other. And what you want to do is import it, and for example here I'm gonna make a new composition, then right click it, time, and time reverse layer, and now everything is going backwards. This animation is going backwards, and that's exactly what we want. Why we did not do that straight in our main composition, you know, like why we didn't time reverse this layer here, is because trapcode particular does not support time reverse. Because I think it's because of how particular works with their time and physics. So if we try time reverse layer, basically nothing happens. It's just black. As you can see, like nothing is going on here. Just stopped. So yeah, unfortunately it does not work like that. I don't know, maybe in future they will fix that or do something about that. But yeah, the workaround is to just render that and then reverse it. So guys, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and please make sure you hit the like button, you subscribe, share it with your friends, tell everyone you know. And if you want this template, you can contact me through email, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and I will give you the download link. So yeah, once again, please subscribe, like, share, comment, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.